Hey friends, welcome back. I am super excited to talk to you this week about goals. Right? Of course, it's New Year's and we're encouraged to think about goals and to set resolutions and all of these things. New year, new start, all of that stuff, right? Of course. I am by nature a goal setter and I really like to have lists. That's something that I have inherited from my dear old dad. He has lists all over our house of things that he wants to do or whatever. I've inherited that. I'm a list person. So last year, I set some goals in 7 different areas of my life and achieved some of them and did not achieve some of them. I've got a blog post, I believe tomorrow, that will be talking about that. It's over at carriejellick.com. You can check it out, where I go through all the goals that I set last year and whether or not I achieved them. So as I was going through and reflecting back on these goals and reflecting on the year, I realized that the reason I failed with some of my goals is because I didn't have a way to really measure them. And that's the thing about goals. If you're going to set something, it needs to be really concrete, really defined, and you have to be able to measure it. If you can't see the progress that you're making, you have no idea if you're actually achieving your goals. So I have some papers here. So these are my goals for this year, and I'm intentionally not really showing them to you because I heard research says that if you share your goals, you're something like 47% less likely to achieve them because by sharing them, you already feel like you've accomplished them. So I share some of my goals, but I can be really quite secretive about the rest of my goals. I will share with you what my writing goals are for the year. So for my writing goals this year, I want to seek an agent for a little children's I suppose you could call it like a micro chapter book series thing. It's a little kids thing that I wrote, and I want to try to find an agent for that. I have a serial prompt-based novel on my blog that I also want to finish. I feel like it's really close to being done, but I have not finished it yet, so I want to get that done. I also want to edit my fantasy novel again, which is in with my critique partners, and I'm going to talk about critique partners one of these weeks. I promise I'm going to talk about them because holy cow, are they so helpful. And then I want to complete all of the critiques that I owe to my critique partners. So those are my writing goals for this year. I also have some goals regarding social media because maybe if you've been around here, you've noticed that I'm not particularly good at social media. I don't post very regularly. I kind of go in spurts of having content and then really long dry spells of not having anything and getting these really good ideas and trying to implement them, but not really having a plan. So this year I want to work on that. So what I have done is I have created, now this, I don't know if you can see it, but I've created a way to track how I post on social media. So it's just, I created it in Excel. It took me 10 minutes, didn't take me hardly any time at all. But what it allows me to do is to track the my social media accounts and when I post. So this isn't necessarily, I have to post on all of these days, but I can at least track when I am posting and I can see if I'm hitting a dry spell, if maybe I'm struggling with content or whatever, but I can look visually at a glance to see where I'm at with my goal of being regular on social media. And then lastly, what I've done is I've created this, it's 1 week, a daily task list of things that I need to get done in order to advance my goals forward. And this has items for different areas of goals that I have. I have some like crafting goals, I have some writing goals, I have some reading goals, I have some exercise goals, and I've got things every day to tackle one of those areas. So I took my goals sheet here that I hand wrote and put some things down on this sheet that incrementally get me closer to my goal. I have a problem with seeing my goal as the big, huge end product, and I get really overwhelmed. And so it's hard for me to take a step forward. But these tools, having my little spreadsheet here and having my daily task list, are going to help me to break down my goals into really manageable chunks and be able to move forward with them and actually accomplish something way bigger than I would have if I didn't have a plan and if I didn't have a way to track it. So that's what I have to share with you this week about goals. So I'd love to hear if you have goals, if you have ways of tracking goals. I'd love to hear all of your ideas. And I will see you next week. You can find me on all the socials around. You can find that in the description below. So I hope to connect with you. I will talk to you later. Bye.